Hello everybody, this is Tim Brzezinski. In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to use iReady's perimeter and area tool that you could find in the digital math tools of the teacher toolbox. All right, so let's click on that tool and open it up and see what we can do. This is fun to play with, I'll be honest. I really like this tool. We can create segments and of horizontal segments and adjust their length. We can also create vertical segments and adjust their length. And we can start building composite solids here pretty quickly, right? So, and we can also start, you may want to ask your students to create a, let's see here, put it over so we can see it. You may want to ask your students to try to create a composite figure whose perimeter is a certain number and whose area is less than or greater than or equal to whatever, right? And here they have to start playing and building and constructing, all right? But let's actually finish completing this here. Let's just make it some kind of like composite L-shaped figure, if you will. And look at that. We could play all day with this. It's kind of fun. All right. But now we can start actually filling in the squares here. Now, since area is measured in square units, and a lot of students conceptually struggle to tell us that, wow, a square unit is literally a square. So we could take that square unit. Oh, that's one square unit. And we could stretch it out using those sidebars. Oh, okay, there's 10 square units. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? And obviously if we click on the blue number right down here, it'll tell us 60, see? And right here, we could take this and let's do this part in orange, right? We have 6 square units there, 4 times over, so that's gotta be what, 24, making an area of 84 square units, right? But let's actually try to solve this problem here. And it's actually a lot harder than it looks. We have a perimeter of 10. We want to make a pen for a rabbit here. The lengths of the 5 sides are 1, 3, 2, 1, and 1. We want to know what the length of the 6th side is. All right. So now, 1 and 3 is 4, and 2 is 6, and 1 and 7, and 1 is 8, right? So what's the length of the 6th side? So obviously the answer, hopefully students can tell us the answer is 2, but why not ask them to try to build it here? Right? We could totally do that. Now, I don't know how it's going to look, honestly, but I could try to just drag out here and see, if I can create a configuration that works, right? So we need 1 meter. Let's see if we could do 1, right? And 3 meters here. So let's make this 3. And again, I don't know if that 3 should be horizontal or vertical, and it doesn't really matter right now, but let's try to put it together and play just like the students would. If it doesn't work, well, we have to go back to the drawing board. Right? So 1, 3, 2, right? Let's make this one 2. Let's see. 1, 3, 2, 1, and 1. So 1 and 1. You know what? I might have to, yeah, this is not going to really work. I need, like, notice I need a horizontal one there. So I can take this unit, I can delete it. And let's put a horizontal unit in its place, right? And so there we go, right? 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And last but not least, we have 2 to complete it, okay? So now, as a teacher, you can even extend for students who finish this problem early and say, hey, how many square units can you enclose? What's the greatest number of square units you can enclose here? Sure, we could try to draw it on paper, but maybe students want to draw a couple configurations. They can do so here on this virtual perimeter and area tool, right? Let's take a look at something else. Just one more example here. Emma drew the rectangle shown while other rectangles have the same area, but different perimeters. Ooh, I like this question. I love it when students have to create. It's fun, right? But here they can create rather quickly. On paper, paper's still good, but it's a little bit more slow. But so we want the same area, so 16 square units. So I can go ahead and take, 16 here. So the goal is, right? We could show it 5. We want to make 16 square units here. How else can I make 16 square units? Now, granted, I should not need this number down here to help me out, but it's there for the taking if we want, right? We can make an 8 by 2, right? We can make a 16 by 1, right? The sky's the limit here. In fact, you might want to ask students to create a couple composite figures that have an area of 16 square units. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And so what if it's not rectangular? Right? Oh, well, the question, I see the question asks for rectangle, so I shouldn't say so what. But you may want to go a little bit beyond, right? We've talked about perimeter already, so it's like, well, hey, what's the greatest perimeter that we can make? Here the perimeter is 16. Can we make perimeter that's bigger than 25? Here, kids can go and virtually explore that option, right? So the sky's the limit here. So one other thing that I want to show you here that's not through an iReady context or problem context is this yellow square. You can create rectangles as much as you want, any dimension. You can rotate them 90 degrees by doing this. Hitting that tool, see, turns it sideways, back and forth. You can create other rectangles. You can overlap them. Watch this. You might want to create some crazy composite solids really quickly, like so. Drag that out there. See what I mean? And we'll make this kind of long and skinny here. Look at this. Ready? We'll put that right in there. And so now what we can do is if we hit the lock arrow, or the lock button, I should say, that kind of makes it a composite figure right there. Now that is glued, it is fixed. We can't change it. But we can use this pen tool to doodle here. Oh, what do you see? I see 3, right? Or we can just erase all that, and we could just go back and we could find the perimeter by just using these tools here, right? So if students are, students always make mistakes. They always like kind of miscount, or maybe they double count. Here, that doesn't leave them the option because they have to label it, right? So that's one thing you could do. Another thing you could do is ask them to find the area. Well, how? Well, click on that, click on one of the squares, and we can just go ahead and start coloring in. Oh my gosh, what do we have here? Hang on, let's see. Whoops, not that. We might have to move this up a little bit. I think, yeah. 8, and so that's a 9 by 3, that's 27, right? You should see 27 if we click down here. And then we can start decomposing this into shapes we're already familiar with. And so this can really powerfully help students see how to find area by decomposing. I mean, on paper, they still should be able to do it, but it's, I think, a lot harder for some students. But this powerful manipulative helps them see conceptually what's going on and helps them catch mistakes in their own work and reasoning. So that's the perimeter and area tool in the iReady teacher and student toolbox.